This weekend is the biggest boxing weekend of 2025. We have three back-to-back-to-back cards. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday in Times Square. Don't know how they're going to pull that off, but there are a couple names that you've probably heard of there. Saturday is the return of Canelo Alvarez, and Sunday is the return of Naoya Inoue, international superstar Naoya Inoue. And if you're from Japan, you're very excited, even though he's going to be fighting in the United States for the first time in a few years. Okay, first, we have bets for all these fights. But first, we're going to get into the simplest one to start, and that'll be Canelo Alvarez by decision at plus 180 against William Scull. Canelo Alvarez hasn't gotten a knockout, despite the fact that he's minus 210 and was last night minus 225 to win by stoppage. So that number's moving a little bit. But Canelo Alvarez hasn't gotten a stoppage since late 2021 against Caleb Plant, very good super middleweight. William Scull is in this position because he has the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Canelo Alvarez had that title, was undisputed, vacated the title to pursue bigger fights. Last year, he beat Jaime Munguia and Edgar Berlanga in higher profile bouts. And William Scull was somebody who just took advantage, was highly ranked by the IBF, got his title, but now Canelo Alvarez wants it back prior to facing Terrence Crawford reportedly later this year. That's at least the plan for the time being. So Canelo Alvarez by decision, plus 180. William Scull has never been stopped in his career. He's undefeated. Canelo Alvarez is trending the wrong way, so to speak. He's still very good, and he's still going to win this fight, in my opinion. But 20 years as a pro, in his mid-30s, he'll be 35 by the time this fight starts, or 35 shortly after. But regardless, he's around 35 years old. And Canelo Alvarez, on top of that, again, hasn't gotten a knockout in 4 years. Typically, when it goes sideways in that regard, unless you're fighting somebody who's absolute ass, you're not going to get the stoppage. Manny Pacquiao got one stoppage after 2009, and he fought almost 20 times after that period. And that was the Miguel Cotto stoppage. He got one more after that. Amanda Serrano has not been knocking out that many women since 2021, outside of Stevie Morgan, who was clearly overmatched, and that was a fight that honestly shouldn't have happened, but Amanda Serrano got her knockout no less. So typically when you get to that point, it's difficult, especially when you're moving up in weight, and Canelo Alvarez, who came up much lighter than super middleweight, is fighting at super middleweight and walking around much heavier than 168 pounds. So we're going with Canelo Alvarez plus 180. Little half unit at most, not a big play, but that's the straight up play that I like the most of everything that's plus money on this card. Next up, we have Arnold Barboza Jr. This is my semi-long shot. Arnold Barboza Jr. by decision to upset Teofimo Lopez. This is a fight that's going down Friday at Times Square. This is going to be for the WBO Super Lightweight Championship. So this is 140 pounds. Teofimo Lopez is really, really good, but was better at lightweight when he beat Vasily Lomachenko and before he lost to George Kambosos Jr. in a dubious fight that set off just an unbelievable career where George Kambosos keeps getting big fight after big fight because of that one win over Teofimo Lopez that probably shouldn't have been. But Teofimo Lopez Jr. has not looked that great at 140. He has multiple questionable performances. He has a questionable win over Sandor Martin, a questionable win over Jermaine Ortiz. His most impressive performance was against Josh Taylor, who was out of the ring for over a year, and some people might say was washed. And Teofimo Lopez has one knockout in the 5 fights that he's had in this weight class. Arnold Barboza Jr. does not have amazing one-punch knockout power, but he has movement, he has boxing ability, his counter-punching ability, speed, slickness, all things that have bothered Teofimo Lopez when Jermaine Ortiz has him or Sandor Martin has him, except Arnold Barboza is not going to be somebody who's inactive with his hands. He's actually going to throw. And I think Arnold Barboza could really win rounds. This is plus 280. This is not something that I would put a ton of money on. And also you got to be cautious of boxing judging. But I think Arnold Barboza has the skills to win this fight straight up. He's won close decisions in the past, and he's good enough to catch Teofimo Lopez slipping, and Teofimo Lopez is not always the most focused in the ring. So I like Arnold Barboza. Of all the fights Friday, I think he's the most live underdog on that card, and it's not even close. And lastly, we have a parlay. We have 3. Now, these are favored, so the value here, it's not going to be amazing, but I think these 3 things happen, and I think strongly about 2 of them at the very least. We have Ryan Garcia by knockout or technical knockout against Rolly Romero. We have Devin Haney by decision against Jose Ramirez. And we have Naoya Inoue by knockout or technical knockout against Ramon Cardenas. So first, we'll go with Inoue. Inoue just knocks out everybody. That's the cap. Inoue just knocks out everybody. This is like minus 1,000. This is a parlay leg that's super reliable. And if Inoue doesn't knock him out, it's because he got hurt or something went terribly, terribly wrong. Next up, we have Devin Haney by decision. Devin Haney is going to face Jose Ramirez. And Devin Haney, we haven't seen him since the Ryan Garcia fight in April. And that was a fight that he lost. But was then overturned because Ryan Garcia was on steroids. I worry about Devin Haney from the standpoint of, hey, he may be chinny now. He may be somebody who's susceptible to being knocked down because he was knocked down 3 times in that fight, or twice, whatever it was. Felt like a lot more. Kept getting hit with left hook after left hook. I just don't know if Jose Ramirez is going to be the guy to test that chin over and over again. This version of Jose Ramirez, at least. Jose Ramirez doesn't look the same as he was a few years ago when he was challenging for the undisputed championship at 140 pounds against Josh Taylor. Jose Ramirez doesn't appear to be that. This is also going to be at welterweight. Devin Haney is a big dude. He's not a strong dude, but he's a big dude, and he's going to use that to his advantage because he rehydrates a ton before fights. And then you have Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero hasn't had an impressive performance in a few years at this point, probably before the Gervonta Davis fight where he got knocked out into the ropes in 2022, I believe that was. And Rolly Romero ultimately is in this fight because people think he's funny. And while he's talented and has power, I think if Ryan Garcia is just 80% of Ryan Garcia knocks him out. And Rolly Romero's been stopped before in his career, and he's gotten favorable decisions. He shouldn't have stopped Ismael Barroso when they fought, and Barroso ultimately had dropped Rolly Romero en route to what should have been an upset, but it was one of the worst refereed fights that you would ever see. Ryan Garcia, we haven't seen him since the Devin Haney fight, but if Ryan Garcia is, if he's just 80% of his talented self and not doing all of the extra stuff, then I like him to win this fight by knockout. That parlay is minus 130. I mean, in boxing, you'll take it because a lot of times these are heavily tilted toward the favorites. These 3 legs are, but I think these 3 legs can very well happen. That's what we have. To recap, we have a 3-leg parlay, minus 130. Ryan Garcia by stoppage against Rolly Romero, Devin Haney by decision, and we have Naoya Inoue by stoppage as well. We have Canelo Alvarez by decision, plus 180 against William Scull. We have Arnold Barboza Jr. This is a semi-long shot, plus 280 by decision against Teofimo Lopez. That's what we have. Boxing picks back this week for the biggest combination of fight cards for the weekend. We hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned. We have more to come on the Action Network, including a lot of playoff coverage and perhaps more fight coverage coming soon. Take care.